Whoso pulleth out this sword from this stone and anvil is the true-born king of all Britain.
Okay, so I'm going to explain what I've been doing for the past week. First, I have to turn the music down so you can hear me. No, just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, that's Rick Wakeman, King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table from about 1974. Anyway, so here we go. This was first inspired last holiday when we were putting out some of that Playmobil and kids were playing with it and things didn't work because things weren't put together. And I remember they were trying to do that drawbridge thing and it just kept flipping off. That's because the little pieces weren't there that held it in place, and who knows where they were because it's hard to dig those things out of a pile of boxes. And anyway, so we're okay, so grandma's cleaning up, you know, great grandma and grandpa's house, and that's been busy, and so we kind of have to clean up our house too apparently, but we get to keep Playmobil and HeroScape, so that's good. HeroScape's pretty well sorted. Now Playmobil is too, and it all works. It's really quite amazing, and a credit to my kids that they kept this stuff not exactly together because it took a long time to sort. It took a long time to figure out what parts went where, but I just wanted to explain a little bit. There were several controversial aspects of this, but the most controversial was that I actually used super glue and glued some parts together so that they're together and they can be more easily used. And Brian had an interesting point because Vincent's been down here and he's been working the drawbridge, cranking it up, cranking it down. He loves that. He also been flipping the catapults. We got lots of catapult stones and fire things to throw. We have 2 catapult sets, maybe that's why. And we've saved those. Those are really good. We have one working cannon too in the fort. Unfortunately, we only have 2 cannon armed whatevers. And so if you're looking around Legos and finding these little yellow things, yeah, we could use those for the cannon, but this still works. You could shoot guys in the fort. Can you see me? You know, this will be kind of funny if you can't even see me the whole film, because I'm not an expert cinematographer by any shot. But so, the controversy of gluing things together. First of all, the fort. Look, you know, this is somewhat, well, this part's pretty easy, you know, this part here, but I glued this together because, you know, I come across and said, what is this and how does this go together? And okay, I did have fort instructions, so that was helpful, but I just glued this so you know how to put this on. And okay, I even did these big things because it's you got to snap off those things from the wall, you know, but I glued, okay, so the sides can still flip off and you got to attach them to these little black things that my kids know so well. But you know, the big deal is all these pieces are now together. Everything still works. I didn't glue anything together that has moving parts. All the moving parts still work. So that's great. So put those open and they'll attach to the outside walls. You can configure it any way you want to, but we do have the instructions for the cowboy fort. That was very lucky. Better yet, just one second. So over here, I'll bring the camera. So over here where we have the ranch, Snake River Ranch. Look, I glued this together so it'll stay together. And you know, wagons aren't really glued together, they still work. But I found them, and this part right here. You know, when I had all the pieces for it, I couldn't figure out what in the heck and how, because I didn't have instructions for this one. I had to go online and find pictures, so I couldn't even really find good instructions online. But the ranch house is all one piece and all together, and it's solid, and it's going to work. And I had trouble, too, finding the Pioneer lady, because I knew we had one, but I finally found her, and there she is. And also, a lot of these guys kind of look Amish. Well, that guy's Amish with an eye patch, so maybe he's supposed to be a pirate. But, he's wearing overalls. Anyway, the ranch is good. Allie might like this part. Well, there's the snowman, but, oh, I see, the flora I glued together, so like these cacti and succulents, they're all glued to their bases, don't have to worry. The signpost, don't have to start searching for the little yellow pieces. We know where Santa Fe is, and Silver Ranch, and, well, Silver Ranch, I don't know what that is. Colorado Springs. What's cool about this, and we couldn't resist, Snake River. We got these signposts for Santa Fe. Another controversial part I probably should explain is that I had to get rid of the Confederates. I just couldn't do Confederates. And so I threw away the flags because they're just not good. And the Confederates, I agonize. We even have Confederate ancestors, at least one I know of. So anyway, so you got to face up to all that, but you don't have to play with them. So what I did is I reformed the Confederates. I scraped off their insignia and all, and I kind of turned them into different characters. So this guy here, kind of interesting because he turned into kind of an Amish character. He's working on the ranch now, which is kind of good. He's working with these, and we only have 2 African American figures. They're good guys, and they work on the ranch. They're good. There were a lot in the West that helped settle the West because they came west because they thought they could be freemen, and they were for the most part. A lot of them were. So that's how we did the ranch. That's glued together, but the pieces are all... The fence, you still got to put the fence together. Do that however you want. You can keep pigs in the ranch. We'll get to pigs later. So on the controversy of... Indians, because here's the thing, and you call them Native Americans, or actually like to be known by their tribal names, which these are sort of made-up tribes. Okay, German toy engineers, contrived all this stuff. And the Germans love the American West, and they're fairly respectful, so it's pretty decent. But oh my word, number one, don't lick the feathers. We know that now. But these headdresses are just amazing. So yeah, I glued the headdresses together, but they're still not glued to the heads, And the Native American village is... Oh, remember how cool these teepees were? And they're fun to play with, and the problem was they were hard to put together, and once you got them together, they wouldn't even stay together. So I super glued them, and they're great, and they can go in the box and they'll be fine, and it's all really sturdy. Once again, to have all these pieces, but it took me a week to sort through all the different boxes and get the right pieces in the right set and make sure things work. So that's the way it went. So onto the castle. Slightly more controversy because I did do... And I think this works out great. So number one, this little castle here, nothing super glued. You can make that, and add walls, and you could add those walls to the Big Bang Castle. But yeah, I super glued. So like for instance, this big main part, it comes apart. It's one piece. And if you wanted to, you could play with it as a medieval house if you wanted to. That's just fine. But all the working parts still work. In fact, I glued these pieces on so you can always have the pieces you need for locking the doors and shutting somebody in. But these are all glued in place. These windows still work. And it's open for play, so kid hands go in there and they can play with the figures, they can open the windows, they can do everything they ever could before. Well, not those windows don't open, but the other windows open. So yeah, and I glued this big tower. Now, not the whole thing, because I wanted to make sure it fit in the box. So, and you can see most of it still comes apart, and you can assemble. We do have instructions for this, so you can assemble according to instructions. But I glued just this tower part, because it's hard to put together or figure out. Just the tower part, not this part. Oh, there's even a broken piece, but it works out just fine when assembled around all the other fitting pieces. It's not a problem. So, whoever broke that, you're okay. But this tower piece is super glued together. Obviously the ladders are not, and they can come out. The doors all work. I need to find one more piece to make this door operational with the with the latch, but you know, you got ladders going up each. These work with the little fingers are better, but you know, you got the trap door. Well, those aren't trap doors. The trap door over here works. You pull that and the knights fall down, and Vincent figured that out, you know, 4 years old. That's the thing that Brian said, is that by gluing some things together to make them solid, like this is the piece right here. This assembly of the door is all one piece, but you know, right here, look, the drawbridge opens. And what Brian said was that what I've done is made this accessible not just for 8-year-olds, but for 4-year-olds. Which brings up another point, of course, is that, you know, 3 and under and the swallowing of parts, not just the licking of feathers is a problem. So little kids need to be away, but I think there's ways we can set this up even downstairs. This would be really nice upstairs on the wood floors. But we've got nice tables, and we can set that up for the older kids to play with down here, because it's hard to play on the carpet. You guys know that. So I'm going to put this together. I'm going to put this, you know, away today. So here's another example from the fort. Is that, you know, these parts here for, you know, blocking the doors. It's really kind of a cool system that you can, you know, block the doors so your unfriendly Confederates, we don't have any more, can't get in, and you know, your native peoples, you invite them in, and then you have you smoke the peace pipe, which is good. That's okay. I don't think that's against the word wisdom if you smoke the peace pipe and make peace. I'm just saying. Okay, don't quote me on that. But so Indians, we talked about Indians. Oh, this is really important too. So I'm going through this stuff and I'm finding little strange pieces that I say, hey, this belongs